in our about section, we want to house everything within a div. We want to add an H1 element where we're going to say about Alvin's. Then we're going to create one more div with a class called about. And then we're going to go back to our menu page, copy one of these images because we're going to need this again. Go back to our about page, just paste it in and just change it to what we want. And then we'll just change our width to 85% because that's what we're going to want in a second here. Make sure you don't make any errors like that. And then we're going to create another div with a class of about child 2, again being extra descriptive. Now we want to create one more div, and inside of this div we're going to create an H2, our mission. I'm going to create a paragraph element out a class. I'm going to go back to my design, copy the text from there, and then just paste it right in. I'm again going to create another anchor element with href equal to order.html and make this equal to order. And that's going to be all for the structure on the HTML side. Now we just need to add our styles. So we're going to go down here and just add about, and then we're going to target our about class, change the display to grid. Then we want to get our grid template columns again, but in this case we only want it to be 2 columns. And then we want to align our items again into the center, and then we want to change our margin with the shorthand property. So we're going to change this to 0 auto, and we're going to add 2 rem at the end. So this is going to put margin on the bottom, this is going to put it on the left and right, and then on the top there's going to be 0. And then we want to add our max width property again, and this is going to be 1200 pixels. And then we want to target the image, and we want to create a border radius of 0.5 rem. Then our about child, we want the width to be the same as our image, so we're going to make this 85%. Align our text to the center, change our text color to white, and use the same border radius, so we'll just copy and paste. And then our background color, we're going to use one of the colors that we used in our design, so I'm simply just going to copy and paste it in here. Copy this selector, and we're going to target our P element within our div. Text align to the left, change our font size to 1 rem, add a shorthand padding using 0 to start followed by 1.5 rem. Then we're just going to copy this, paste it down here, change our P element to an H2, delete these 2 styles, and change our font size to 2 rem. I'm going to paste that one more time here, change this to our anchor element. Then I'm going to copy some of my styles from earlier on and just change them out just a little bit. And then once we save that, what we're going to do is we're going to go take a look at this page, and we're going to see how easy it is to create that. So now we successfully have our page here. So the issue is we need to change this to about child 2, change all of these to about child 2 because that's the one we're trying to select. So make sure you use the correct class name. Sometimes that can come across and become an issue. And now you guys can see that it's exactly how I want it to look. And now what we need to do is set up a media query. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and copy one of the media queries from earlier that we used, mainly this one here. Come down here, just paste it again, and then what I would need to do is change my grid template columns of the about. So I'm going to copy this. I don't even have to write anything for this because I already have so much of it built out already. I can just simply copy and paste. So just take that and then go ahead and save, go back over here, refresh. Now if we resize our page down to mobile, you're going to notice that it changes into a 1 grid layout, and you're going to notice that it's not really working too well. So what we're going to do is try refreshing, maybe Xing out, and then shrinking this down because sometimes the browser can pose an issue. So you guys will notice that it's not working correctly here. I can simply just add some grid gap, which will be really easy to do, and I'll just make that equal to, let's say, 1 rem. That'll solve our spacing problem. And then our about child 2, I'm just going to add a little bit of bottom padding. So I'll select bottom padding like so, and then just make this equal to 3 rem. Let's go ahead and resize this down, and you guys can see that it looks much better now. We got a little spacing, and our button is within the black portion. What we want to do is go back here and start making our text responsive, so you guys can see this come to life. Instead of having to write this all up for you guys, I already wrote it on the side screen that I have. So what I'm gonna do is just paste it, and you guys can see that I already have a note so you guys can make sense out of this. So what I'm doing here is creating 2 media queries and saying that below 967 pixels, I want to target my HTML page and change the font size to 80%. And then when I go down to my next media query, anything under 768 pixels, I want my font size to be 60%. And this needs to be set up exactly this way, because if I put this media query above this one, it's not going to work correctly. And what this is going to do is it's going to resize everything where I specified rems. So like, for example, here, the height 3 rem is going to be 60% underneath 768. So let's go take a look at that so you can really understand what's going on here. So if I refresh this page and I go ahead and inspect it, you're going to notice that my font is a certain size right now. But if I start going down, it's going to stay that same size. But once I hit that first pixel value of 967, you're going to see that all of the text on this page is going to go ahead and shrink. And then if I go all the way down to a mobile size, for my second media query, you're going to see that text shrink even more. To resolve the issue of my logo not correctly sizing, I'm going to change the width of all of them to 1.5 rem. So now you guys can see that it's resizing much better. Tap here to see what happens next.